The first of the full Skyactiv line of vehicles, the Mazda CX-5, first introduced in 2012, is still at the top of its game. It's a rare breed of car that's both a personal and popular choice, something the husband and the wife won't disagree over. And now with a refresh this year, it's made even better.
Outside, the Mazda CX-5 is sleek and sporty. There are no attempts to wrap this crossover in a rough and rugged package. There are no pretenses that it can go off-road. Instead, it goes in the opposite direction. The lines and the proportions don't look out of place in a sports hatchback or wagon, and you have to thank the KODO design language for that. For this year's update, the design is supplemented by a new front end that visually widens the car. The trim elements in the grille and fog lamp clusters are now horizontal, while the headlamps are now illuminated by adaptive LEDs with Eye of the Beast daytime running lights. At the back, changes are much more minimal, with just the tail lamps gaining the same LED signature. It still runs on the same 19-inch tires, but with a meaner two-tone alloy wheel design. Inside is where the majority of the improvements are seen. The aesthetics is still about straightforwardness and functionality. The execution is very Japanese in its minimalist design and lack of visual distractions. Ergonomically, it remains flawless. For this update though, Mazda sees to it that the cabin's lifted in terms of quality, with items like the piano black accents replaced by brushed metallic ones. As a result, it feels like a substantially different vehicle from behind the steering wheel. Feature-wise, the CS5 has always been generous, and the 2016 model is no different. Aside from the aforementioned adaptive LED headlights and the Mazda Connect infotainment system, it has rain-sensing wipers, a passive keyless entry with push-button start-stop, cruise control, moonroof, rear parking camera, a 9-speaker Bose sound system, idle start-stop, and now it even gets an innovative lane-keeping assist that automatically steers the car back into the lane when it detects unwanted drifting. The CX-5's revolutionized the automotive world with its Skyactiv technology, and for 2015-2016, it's virtually untouched. Under the hood is a 2.5-liter Skyactiv G4-cylinder engine that does 188 horsepower, up 4 from before, and 250 Nm of torque. Like before, this engine's made it to a 6-speed automatic, which is smooth and unobtrusive. Oddly, there are still no paddle shifters, even if there's a new sport mode that changes the engine and transmission mapping to a more aggressive setup. The CX-5's Skyactiv chassis remains one of the most adept at handling corners. The ride is decisively firm, especially when tackling rough surfaces. But at least the trade-off is much better roll control and tighter handling. And with improved sound deadening placement, it's also much quieter than before. The planted and secure handling is added to by the sharp, quick, and linear steering with a ratio that feels faster than most crossovers. New for this year is a handling bias AWD system called iActiv AWD. Without any notion that it can go off the beaten path, Mazda's system uses a variety of sensors to make the AWD more proactive rather than reactive. It senses possible slippage and primes the AWD to activate at a moment's notice.
Normally, it's hard to get excited about driving a crossover. It's often seen as the necessary evil that balances a car guy's wants and his family's needs. The Mazda CX-5 has always been the exception. The added style and technology helps, but it's the driving enjoyment given by the CX-5 that may charm its way to would-be buyers.